What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Wolfcryer here, and welcome to another episode of aRPG Update, where we talk about what's going on in the world of action role-playing games. And in today's video, we'll be talking about Wolcen Lords of Mayhem again, as well as Warhammer Chaosbane, Grim Dawn, and a little bit on Pagan Online. So let's get right into it. First up, we have Wolcen Lords of Mayhem, which has announced that their Content Patch 2 will be available at some point in September, hopefully. Now, according to Wolcen Studios, this big patch will bring 5 new skills for melee and ranged characters, as well as their associated 40 modifiers, and will include a balancing review, some new unique items, as well as the introduction to altars to the game, animation canceling, and a fix, hopefully, for the loading times. Now, I don't know if any of you people out there have played Wolcen Lords of Mayhem, but the load times in this game are absolutely horrendous, and I have it on my SSD drive. Now, my SSD drive allows me to click the button to turn my computer on and instantly play a game within 1 second of turning it on. And I will instantly load into Path of Exile and be able to jump into maps and just plain play. But in Wolcen, I have to sit at the loading screen for between 3 to 6 minutes while it's on my SSD, as I said. That is just absolutely painstakingly horrible as far as load times go. So hopefully a big fix is coming for load times in this upcoming patch in September. They will also be adding a new endgame system known as the Carousel Challenge, which will be, as they say, integrated as a dungeon alteration in the Soldier of Fortune game mode. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be a multiplayer dungeon, if you will. And from the sounds of it, it is going to be multiplayer only, which might be a big bone of contention for its player base. I am all for multiplayer in these type of games, because that's how I enjoy playing games. Overall, I love playing games with my friends. I love meeting new people online and that sort of thing. And I love being able to play different games with people. But I also have my games that I enjoy playing solo. And I think that maybe they're going a little bit too far with this, because this will include new death rules, new looting rules, rewards based on kill counts, boss ranks, and overall drop rates. Now, this is all according to Wolcen Studios, and some unique item affixes that can only be obtained through this challenge, as well as a victory screen with individual and group stats. Now, having unique item affixes that you can only obtain through multiplayer is a bad move, in my opinion. Like I said, I enjoy multiplayer. I would love to get into doing this, but there has to be a way to allow your solo players to be able to get these same items, these same affixes in-game without having to do multiplayer. I think that alienating half of your player base because you want to implement a very cool multiplayer aspect to the game is probably not a good idea, especially when you've taken this long to create your game. Hopefully, by the end of this process, this game will be great, but there's a lot of people already losing faith in that, and I don't think you want to lose half your players as well, those players that enjoy playing by themselves. And I really think that they should probably rethink this whole direction as far as making the multiplayer more important than the solo play. I think there's got to be a way to balance it. Like I said, I personally enjoy playing multiplayer. I play Diablo 3 a lot. I play Path of Exile, and my preferred gameplay is multiplayer. But Diablo 3 pretty much forces you to play multiplayer in order to advance to high-end content as far as greater rifts go and on the leaderboards, that sort of thing. And Path of Exile really doesn't offer that much as far as endgame group play goes. It's not really beneficial to play in a group in Path of Exile. You tend to die more often unless you're bringing a pretty decent support. So while I would like to see some more group play aspects of Path of Exile, I wouldn't want that at the expense of those solo players, because a lot of people play that game for solo as well. And I think that Wolcen Studios is probably making a huge mistake if this gear, if this loot available in this dungeon is going to be better than solo players can get. All right, let's move on to Warhammer Chaosbane. Here we go. Warhammer Chaosbane announced a couple of weeks ago that the console patch for its latest patch that went live a couple of weeks ago on PC has been delayed, has been rejected. Now, according to Reddit, it is unrelated to the PC build and is actually an issue with one of the consoles. I don't know why this should affect both consoles. If it's limited to one, I would probably push that patch forward on one of the consoles. But I'm not a developer. I don't know the behind the scenes type of stuff. I don't want to pretend to know that. But all I know is that people paid a big chunk of money for this game that was completely unfinished at launch, and now the console players are unable to at least play the additions that were added after the fact, after the game launched. Things that should have been in the game when it was shipped, when it was launched, are not there. And console players who have paid $50 or more still don't have access to these systems in the game, and that's not good. And Warhammer Chaosbane tweeted that, games can fail certification for a variety of reasons, and often they do. Hence why sometimes you'll see radio silence for months until a console patch drops. We want to be open and transparent about it, so we give a date we're aiming for and update you along the way. Now, the issue with this is, this was posted July 10th. It is now July 17th. I'd call that radio silence at this point. Maybe there's a reason, maybe not, but all I have to say is that this game had such great potential. I still think that overall it doesn't look bad. It plays pretty decent, but it's just so lacking in quantity of things to do in it. And I think that it really should not have been released to the public yet. Not at a $50 price tag with an additional $20 for a seasonal pass that nothing has come from, by the way. There has been nothing released for the season pass owners. So I spent $70 on this game. It's been out for, a month and a half, 2 months, maybe a little bit more. And there's nothing extra for my $20, and I don't think that I've gotten my $50 worth at this point, even with the addition of the stuff that should have been in the game at launch. And maybe this is just me. Maybe I just think that, when I go purchase something, I expect to get all of it. I don't go to Best Buy and, buy a TV and then get the remote 6 weeks later that I paid $5 extra for. It just, to me, this whole system nowadays with gaming and the fact that games are being released unfinished and there's people out there defending it and saying, give them time to fix the game. No. Why do you give them time to fix something that should have been already done? I don't go to Walmart, buy chicken, and only get the package home and wait 4 months for them to send me the actual friggin' chicken. It's just, that's how things are going with games, and that's something that gamers need to stop doing, is stop buying these games that are just plain trash and then justifying your purchase to make yourself feel better. Because there is no justification to Warhammer Chaosbane. There isn't. There's no justification to releasing a $50 game that's worth less than $10. I can name at least 5 action role-playing games out there that you can buy for cheaper that are at least 10 times the content. And this includes Diablo 3 at this point in time. To me, it just doesn't make sense. There's free games out there that you can play, and no, they don't have the Warhammer universe characters in it, but so what? This game was not good, and it wasn't finished. And people wonder why I give Wolcen Lords of Mayhem the time. It's in early access. They haven't come out and released a full version like this, and this is why I choose to give them a little bit of time. I know that they are being under the microscope all the time, and that must be hard as a game developer, and I do think that they've taken too much time. I do think that Wolcen Lords of Mayhem has taken too much time. But at this point in time, I'd rather see them finish the game and make it kick-ass, because if they release a game that is absolute trash, on top of taking 5-6 years to make it, I think there's probably going to be a bigger problem. And that's why I'm allowing them, maybe another 8-9 months to completely finish that game and get it out, because I don't think that they should rush and put out a game like Chaosbane did. I mean, this is a game that had 2 betas that nothing was fixed during the betas for the most part. They just seem to give content and, give YouTubers and streamers keys to give away, and they're all like, yeah, this is a great game. It's not a great game. It's not. And this type of stuff, something was wrong. I would love to know what exactly was wrong with this console patch that it was rejected. It could be a security issue. It could just be something like that. But overall, I'm seeing Warhammer Chaosbane as a total epic fail at this point as far as action role-playing games. And it definitely shouldn't have come with a $50 price tag and a $20 seasonal pass that so far you've got nothing for. I apologize for that rant, ladies and gentlemen, but this game really gets under my skin because I don't like this type of attitude towards gamers where you think your product is worth this much, but you're not even putting out a complete product. It doesn't make sense, and I don't like the fact that some gamers, some YouTubers are defending this game when the fact is it failed. No Man's Sky, when it came out, failed, and they fixed it. It's okay to do a re-review after it's fixed. It's not okay to go, well, maybe this game will get better, so you should buy it. Because you know what? Maybe it won't, or maybe it will in 5 or 6 years. But so far, Warhammer Chaosbane is absolutely failing in my eyes. And I'm sorry. Sorry I had to do that little rant, but it had to be said because games like this are what's ruining the games industry. And people defending games like this are helping. All right, so let's move on to Grim Dawn. Grim Dawn is another one that you can get for a decent price tag. You can get pretty much all 3 expansions for the most part for about the same price as Warhammer Chaosbane and the Seasonal Pass. And they are about to do a huge patch, and they are about to do a full balance recheck on the game, passing through all the level 1 through 60 areas, upgrading everything, pretty much balancing out the game as far as challenge goes, and not really making it super hard, but balancing it so that it all flows and becomes one big balanced game. And I think that's a big undertaking, and something that they've said that they've wanted to do for a while is go back to those early areas and, flesh it out, balance it out. And they're also doing some additional work with revamping some of the models and areas throughout each patch and making sure that they update them, because the game is a little bit old. But with each patch, they seem to be going back and fixing some things, upgrading it to their current standards, and overall this patch is looking pretty good. You will be able to auto-loot materials, which is great in any game. Not having to click every little piece of material or gold that drops, you will be able to auto-loot, and that is pretty awesome. They are adding a search function to the crafting panel, so you'll be able to search through all of your different crafting recipes, because they have hundreds of crafting recipes in this game, and being able to find that one you're looking for, or to be able to look exactly for what you need, is going to be pretty epic in that game. They are also going to be updating the Crucible map selection page, allowing you to pick which Crucible map you want, rather than trying to get a specific map through randomness. And that's pretty cool for players of Crucible. So it's great when companies are still doing stuff like this for games that are actually pretty decent. And overall, it looks like it's going to be a huge quality of life update for Grim Dawn, which is already a pretty decent game. If you haven't played Grim Dawn, I would try to check it out if you can catch it on sale. As far as aRPGs go, it is among the top 4 or 5. So something you might want to look into. Maybe check out a couple of videos, that sort of thing. See if it's your cup of tea before you buy it. I don't suggest just running out and buying it because I say it's fun and I say it's good. I would never do that or suggest that for you for any YouTuber out there. Even if it's your favorite YouTuber or Twitch streamer, don't just buy something because they say it. Research it. That type of stuff. That's with every game, ladies and gentlemen. If I can get anything across in this video, I know it's a little bit more ranty than my normal aRPG update videos, but people need to be making better decisions when it comes to buying games. That's the only way to force game companies to make better decisions when they're making games. Alright, so we're going to wrap up this video with Pagan Online. So Pagan Online has released a roadmap for its full game release, which should be coming by the end of summer of this year. So within a couple of months, Pagan Online will be releasing its final version. And there's 3 BFPs coming, big patches coming to Pagan Online over the next couple of months, with the 3rd one being the final launch, the full version of this game. The first one has already been released, which announced Act 6, new skill tree, drop system, crafting system, and stats system. And there's more coming. Big Patch 2 will have endgame content, Schools of Magic, Click to Move, which would be amazing. That would pretty much settle that for me as far as wanting to play it, having Click to Move. I know that WASD movement is not bad. It's not horrible once you get used to it, but I like playing Click to Move. And that is going to be awesome. That is next big patch coming to Pagan Online, and I am so looking forward to it. And they are also going to have full controller support as well with that patch. And then the big patch 3 will add Acts 7 and 8, 2 new heroes, new missions, new assassinations, new legendary weapons, and will allow you to try every single hero. It looks like Pagan Online is progressing quite nicely. There's a lot of stuff coming out for this game. If you haven't seen any videos on this game, I would definitely look it up because this game looks pretty cool. It plays really well. I just personally don't like the WASD controls, so expect me to get into it more once they add Click to Move, because that's just my preferred play style. There's nothing wrong with those of you who enjoy WASD. I understand the concept. It allows you to face a certain way while doing skills a different way if you wanted, and that sort of thing, because it allows free movement of your mouse in direct opposition to the way your character's moving. So I get it. I just don't like it personally, but when they add Click to Move, expect me to be playing this game a little bit more because I definitely would like to jump into it. The time I did have playing the game, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a pretty fun game to play, but I just couldn't get over the movement myself. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have my aRPG update video. Hopefully, this didn't turn you off with all the ranting, but unfortunately, I just want to make sure that people are making good decisions when it comes to games. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I always greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget that little bell icon over in the corner there as well. Let you get notified when I put up new videos. Expect a bunch of videos this week. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again, and you all have a fantastic day. Peace.